Hey everyone, it's your girl Miss Owens, coming to you from NYC on this beautiful 4th of July day, 256th day, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, and the actual, you could say, third major holiday of the summer. Even though Memorial Day is in spring, Memorial Day, you could say, kicks off the summer season. So, first of all, I want to say, I am not a fan of Candace Owens. I'm not a fan of DJ Academics. But what I have to say and call out is that when you call someone a name, such as idiot, you better know how to back it up. And when Candace Owens called Tariq Nasheed an idiot on DJ Academics' podcast, you opened a can of worms. First of all, Tariq Nasheed is far of an idiot. Tariq Nasheed is an icon, number one, in the game of podcasting and being on YouTube. Tariq Nasheed was doing what you're doing now all the way back in 2006. He's one of the first podcasters. I've been watching Tariq Nasheed on YouTube since 2011, okay? And I've been watching him religiously on YouTube since 2013. Okay? You just got known in 2018. Okay? And by the way, Tariq's been really consistent with his views and so forth pretty much since he dropped his book, The Art of Macking. Because, sweetheart, you didn't even vote for Trump the first time. You didn't even help to get him elected. You wasn't anti-Trump. You didn't vote for anyone. But you was not a Trump voter. You switched sides the following year when you saw that what he was talking about, you was like, okay, I'm in it. But the tea about you is that you fake. You don't even believe what you're saying. And the person that basically reveals you and Brandon Tatum as idiots is a real conservative by the name of Edward Lucas, who goes by the Amazing Lucas. Okay? Now, the reason why you call Tariq Nasheed an idiot was because Tariq Nasheed is bigging up foundational Black Americans, and pretty much DJ Academics didn't like the fact about how there's these splinter groups in Black society, which is not true. We're not a splinter group. It's just we're classifying ourselves based on our lineage, okay? You have FBA, then you have ADOS. The two are not intertwined. They're separate groups. One is political ADOS. One, FBA, is a whole group, and it's about the culture and history and all those things, but it's just not really political. Now, you should have never said anything. You should have just said, okay, Tariq Nasheed, yeah. You could have said just like, oh yeah, he's interesting, or you could have just said nothing else. But you called him an idiot. And that's where you open the can of worms. Because of you calling him an idiot, everybody who's never heard of Tariq Nasheed is going to want to know, well, why is this man an idiot? And you basically increase his following much more. Because people are going to find out Tariq is not an idiot. How can he be an idiot when he's proven factually that practically all Black American millionaires are descendants of American slavery? It's a known fact. 1,700,000 plus Black millionaires are in this country. Only, believe it or not, and this is something, when I found this out, I was shocked. Only 5% of them are non-FBA, non-ADOS. That's a known fact. Of the 1,700,000 plus millionaires in this country who are Black, only 5% of them are non-FBA. So how is it that we are lowly performing non-Black Americans? Come on now. This is not, the truth. They're pushing a line of myth to eradicate us and to block us out. DJ Academic says, when I was in college, I was, leaving the hood and I see people still staying there. He's being used just as her as a tool to basically put out this myth, not to say that Black people are being blocked out of college, because it's not the case, but to, in the future, block us out. You see that? You got to be hip and wise to this, because let me tell you something. When I went to college, I'm not going to lie when I say this. Initially, there was only one college that I can personally say I didn't see a lot of Black Americans. And that was when I went to CUNY in New York City. City University in New York. They weren't there up until 2007 and 8. And by 2007, I left. So I haven't been back to CUNY since. But I'm a CUNY alumni because I'm a graduate of BMCC. Shout out to my alma mater. But the recession is what brought many FBA students whose parents would have never ever had them to go to CUNY. Because CUNY at the time was lowbrow. So foundational Black American parents, they were like, no, you're not going to CUNY. With the exception of your college, had the biggest population. That's because Jamaica Queens had a huge population of foundational Black Americans. No, you're not going to CUNY. You're going to a HBCU, or you're going to a SUNY, or you're going to PWI. But you are not going to CUNY. Okay? Now they going because it's better academically, but still, with inflation, the cost of a lot of things, they're using their money, you could say, kind of smartly. And, going to grad school in private colleges, PWIs, and famous PWIs. But what I'm saying is that as a person who's FBA, I didn't really see a lot of FBAs when I was in CUNY up until the last 2 years. And that's not because FBAs didn't really want to go to college. They was going to HBCUs. They was going to SUNY. They was going to really great universities. And then you had some that was just like, I'm going to the Army. I'm going to workforce. And DJ Academics knows that it's a lie because he went to Rutgers. Rutgers University, okay? Rutgers University, Black population, all right? And I got to say this. Black population, Black student population. Let's look this up. Student population. And one of my supervisors on my job is ADOS, okay? All right, so the Black population was about 7.68%, okay? So it wasn't a lot. However, ask yourself, how many of them was FBA? He's not going to tell you. But out of that, guarantee you, at least 70% of them were. But he's going to flip it and tell you otherwise. Because ask yourself this and look in the mirror and just do research. If we as foundational Black Americans are this low performing group, how come when you look at the most successful Blacks in America, even right now, how come you only find a few of them that are non-FBA? And the most of them that you find that are foreign are not, I want to say non-FBA, are African. DJ Academics is Jamaican. Candace is 75% FBA. And this is why I really don't like her. Because at least with DJ Academics, I can understand him to a point digging up his lineage. But Candace, you're only 25% of Korean background through your grandmother, who is from St. Thomas, VI, who pretty much was born into American citizenship. So what are you talking about caping? You don't like being a foundational Black American, and you playing these people. It's your issue has never been you're pro-white, because I think you're finessing the game. I think you're just anti-FBA at this point. And since you're anti-FBA, let me just, just say this and I'm done. You will never, ever, ever, ever be able to erase that. No matter how many white men you date, how many white men you have babies with, whether you're marrying them or out of wedlock, you will never erase your FBA heritage. See, in the beginning, I really gave you the benefit of the doubt because you were really talking some good stuff. I'm not going to lie. But what I've learned about a lot of you conservatives, when you first come out the woodwork, you talk a good game to attract people's attention. You talk about things in the community that everybody agrees upon. But then you show your true colors after you entrench yourself in people's consciousness. And that's what you did. And I see you for your colors, and I personally think that you're a grifter, and I think that you're fraudulent. I don't think you believe in half the stuff you say, but what I do believe is that when it comes to talking about Black America, in terms of foundational Black American issues, people, history, even Adolf's history and the people, that's the one thing that you despise. And I agree that that's how you generally feel. And because of that, I just think that it's time to basically have the whole community call you out for your nonsense. And one day, the white people who are sponsoring you will hear this and realize they wasted an investment in you because you were a fraud. And with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Analytical. I'm signing out. Thank you and have a wonderful day.